Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Touched by a Horse. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, and I'm here with your lovely host today, Annette Price. Hello, Annette.
Hi there, Chris. How you doing?
It's good to see you again. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you doing?
A little more relaxed than the first time, so yeah.
Nice, right? It's so good. Well, it's just a conversation, and I love that you have so much to share. You have a lot of life experience and wisdom, and I'm excited to unpack some of that today. So, let's talk. One of the mysterious things about this work, Touched by a Horse, and any of the horse work, the Gestalt stuff, is what are these horses doing? And did you train them to do this? And how does this all work? And so let's talk about horses as spiritual beings and what's happening.
All right. I think one of the jokes I like to make is that I studied for 2 years to be a Gestaltist, and I think our horses are born Gestaltists. So I have been working in this program now and studying and seeing clients for about 10 years. And in this time, I have seen things over and over and over that horses are actually offering healing. I think we could maybe call this a new healing modality. I have studied Chinese medicine, classical Chinese medicine, the 5-element theory a little bit, and I have studied energy work, and I'm a Reiki master. And I'm beginning to evolve this idea that the horses have been healing each other for a long time. I think they've been offering us healing for a long time. What you said about that we can't train them to do this work, that is so absolutely true, because when I start a session and bring in clients to be with my horse, what she brings to the table comes totally from her. I haven't trained her to do what she does. I haven't trained her to pay attention to the clients or whatever. There's no training. She's just there for them and there for me. So when a client gets out of the car and starts walking towards the fence, my horse already knows who she is, who he is, and what's going on inside them. She reads their energy from the inside out.
Wow.
And all the horses really want from us is for us to be congruent. They want the face we put on the outside to measure, to be a feeling of what we're feeling inside, to represent what we're feeling inside. So it's one cohesive package.
Yeah.
For instance, we've all heard the fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're never going to do that with a horse. You may think you are, and that might help you, but your horse has already seen what you're doing. They already know it. You can't go to the barn and put a big smile on your face and walk in and really happy after you've had a car accident, because your horse will see that car accident energy, that fractured energy in there. And that's what they don't like to be in that presence. They want us to be totally congruent. They want us to, if I walk in, and I have walked into my pasture many times. I walked in when my dad was sick, and I just told Lakota, this is what's going on for me. And I stood there beside her and cried and cried and cried, and she just hangs there with me. She's there with me. And then when my emotions have cleared and I've released this energy and stuff, then we both can take this great big breath, this big sigh, and then we can move forward, because now we are connected in truth and honesty.
Yeah.
So
how does that, when I think about healing, I think of things that we do, there's a lot of doing around healing, right? The things I'm supposed to eat, and the things I'm supposed to stretch, and I'm supposed to, all the prescriptions we get to heal. Right. And it sounds like a lot of this healing isn't doing. It's just aligning, or I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just well, I think you're right. I think that, so there's a lot of times in life, we walk through life and we put on a good face and we do our job, and we know many, many times what's going on. And then there's times when life puts something in front of us that's confusing. We're facing a decision that we can't seem
to figure out the answer to, or we find ourselves in a relationship that isn't quite right, but we don't know what's quite wrong. This can be with your job, a relationship with a person, a relationship with food, a relationship with sleep. You know, it can be a lot of different things. And through this Gestalt processes of unraveling the story and getting closer to the truth and allowing that truth to be present and acknowledged, then your body feels better, you breathe deeper, your mind is clearer. So they're all related. It isn't a doingness, but it is an unraveling process. It is a process. And Gestalt can be a doing thing. We set up scenarios, we set up family, how are the words totally just
like a conversation, like family dialogue, family.
Yeah, we could take a person's family and set up people in the arena to play different parts and all this kind of stuff, and bring the horses in and do different things. So a lot of times there can be a doingness to it. But
Sure.
the basic idea is just, you know, if we're comfortable, and whole, and my goal for myself for years has just been to just find a deeper inner peace.
Right.
And then I can throw the rock in the water and the pebbles go out and the ripples go out, and that's how it works. And I think the horses do that with us too, one at a time. They help us find our congruent, our honest, wise selves. And then when we go back into our world and back into our families and whatever, that ripple, that inner peace affects everyone around us. So it's universal.
It makes me think of, there are different spiritual healers or healers who I think would say they heal not from medicine, like with like Western medicine, but they heal on more of a spiritual plane. And people will fly to different countries just to be in the presence of these healers. And what's so interesting about this conversation in this series of Touched by Horse is that it sounds like, horses, we just have never, I say we, those of us that didn't know about this, right? We just have never thought of horses as these kinds of healers. And so we'll look far and wide to heal, but we often miss that there are horses right here that could connect us just because we hadn't thought of horses as healers,
Right. So I'm seeing this little story in my mind I'd like to tell you about.
Yeah.
So I was having to meet up, and there were about 14 people, and I had this idea that I was going to take the people into this big arena, set them down, and then I was going to open the gates, and I had people helping me, watching the horses and watching everything. Open the gates and let in my miniature donkeys and my mini horses and my big horses, and let them move around the people. Instead of the people going to them, the people would be seated. And so that's how I saw this experience unfolding. So that's what we did. We went in, we set the people down. I opened the gate, and the horses and the donkeys start wandering around, and it's in total silence. So we're in silence. So lots of things happen, but the one thing I'm thinking about in particular, a man I'd never met, never saw again, was there. And my horse, my super healer, heart of gold horse, she walked up to him, and she was looking, I was facing her, and his back was to me, so I couldn't see his face. And she walked up to him and stood with him during the entire, maybe about 10 minutes. And she would lift her head from one side and over to his other, and to his other shoulder, and she was nuzzling his chest. And so I kind of checked in with my angels, and I said, do I need to interfere here? Is everything okay? And the message I got was, be still. Let her do her thing. Because a horse has a very, very large head. If she had knocked him into it, but that's not what's happening with her. That's not what's happening with her at all. So I'm watching everybody in the arena, but I'm watching this in particular. And when it was time, my helpers, human helpers,
Mm-hmm.
we started gathering the people up and walking them back to the gate and taking them back to the circle. And when I was interested in to talk to him to see what was going on. And when I walked up to him, he had tears. He had been crying. He had tears running down his face. His shirt was wet. And I walked him out. And he turned and he looked at me and he said, I don't know what just happened to me. I have never felt that much love and compassion in my life.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. And so everybody comes and we sit back in circle, and then we, kind of talk about what has just happened and what people felt and how it was for them. And he sat there for a long time, and I was hoping he would speak. And then when everybody was done, he just looked up and he said, I've been a recovering alcoholic for 14 years. And I just had the most incredible healing experience I've ever felt in my life.
Wow.
What did she do?
Right.
I don't know what she did.
Right. And what did you do? I mean, you had them sit and you were observing, and the horse came in and did whatever the horse did. Lakota, right? That's the name of your horse, is Lakota?
That's my beautiful mare. So it was just one of those things where the people were, they had their own experience. And then we just, in talking about it afterwards, then we, discussed the horses as a different kind of, for a lot of people, seeing the horse as a spiritual being is brand new to them. Right. Throw a saddle on and ride them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's so much more to that. So
that's how I thought about it.
I guess my story is something happened between her and him.
Yeah.
I cannot explain. And he didn't care what it was. All he knew is that he felt better than he had in years and years and years. And he came up later and he told me again, before he left, he said, that she's a very special horse. And I said, I know she is, but I think all horses have the potential to do this kind of work or be those healers for us if they want to.
Yeah. What is it? I guess maybe it's speculation. I've heard in this series, people have said horses are grounded because all four legs are on the ground. I've also heard horses have really big hearts, like physically big hearts. And maybe that has something to do, do you have perspective on what makes them capable of being so wise and spiritual?
I think we might get kind of woo-woo here, Chris.
I like woo-woo. I like the woo. I like the woo.
Well, I believe that they have stepped up to the planet, and I don't know how long they've been doing this, but I believe that certain animals have stepped up to help us be the best humans we can be. And I was given a list one time by a person I was having a session from, and these animals, we're the only animal on the planet that can push the button and destroy us. So if these animals, kingdoms, step up and help us be better human beings, then everyone benefits. We need a lot of healing to heal the issues and stuff with the human population. I mean, in a nutshell, it's as simple as that. So how they do that, how the horses are doing that, horses come in all sizes, but when you have a person standing beside a 1,000-pound animal, their reaction is big. Some people it brings up a lot of fear. They're afraid of horses. Some people are just love to look in their eyes. They'll do anything to do that. And many, many times people are both afraid and in love. It's an interesting combination. And women will come up and they go, I've never done this and I'm so afraid, but I just have to get in there and I really want to love on this horse. And I said, hey, you're at the right place. Let's go make this happen.
Wow.
So
when you, when people find you to do work with you, do you find are they are on the spectrum of woo? Are they do people come in that are very woo woo, or do people come in that are very traditional, or some mix? Who works with you?
I think it's more traditional. I think that the way I look at the world is I don't have to understand something to know that it works. I don't know how this light bulb turns on, but I know that it does.
Right.
I don't know how the energy between me and my horse transfers, but I know that it does. I've been riding my horse and had a thought go through my head, and she immediately turns left because what I just thought was like, ooh, I don't know if this is safe. And she turns. I didn't say anything. I didn't touch the reins. I didn't do anything. She is so connected to me that we have something that human beings have lost, but the animals haven't. Be able to relate to each other in a nonverbal communication, energetic way.
Wow.
So my clients are not on the woo-woo spectrum.
Yeah.
Although they're just people trying to figure out ways to make their lives easier, to clear the confusion, to find their inner voice, to feel stronger and more self-confident about who they are.
Right. So good. I love that.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think, I like I keep using the word woo woo, but I think those of us that like woo woo can identify as woo woo. I think we're not ashamed or embarrassed by the woo. I like the woo.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting. Like I'm also curious then those that are more traditional, if they're, it's cool that people who are more traditional are still willing to be open and come into something they can't explain. That is very woo. I mean, it's just out there.
Right. And sometimes I feel like people, even in Western medicine, they have to get pushed to a point where they don't have another remedy. Sometimes they have to get pushed to a point where they don't have another remedy. And then others, when they find out how much fun this work can be, and then you actually feel so much better afterwards, it is that some of us kind of get addicted to the Gestaltism, being Gestalt, and working that way. And because good things happen. When you walk away at the end of an hour and a half, and you're lighter and brighter and ready to face the world again. That's a great thing. That's a great way to feel.
Yeah, it's so good. I should say too, I just, I think the word woo or woo woo is used when we can't understand it. And so we just kind of, we term it something that is like lighthearted or something that we don't understand it. So it's that. But I think what happens is the more that we start to tap into these other sources of healing and wisdom, that all of a sudden it doesn't become this thing we can't explain. It becomes more normal. It's a new normal.
I think that there is a spiritual renaissance that's happening. And I believe that many people are searching for a way to be better connected. I am deeply connected to this planet we live. I love living on this planet. And when I get confused, when I had computer failure this week, which, oh my God, that's like my worst nightmare. And I just have to walk out my back door and lay on the grass for a while and just let it go and just watch the wind blow through the trees, watch my horses eating grass, watch whatever. I just, so we have become disconnected from nature. It's an issue.
Yeah.
I think people are writing about it. There's books being written about this now, that there is a disconnect from nature that will not serve us in the end. Everything that is in this planet is in our body. We have gold and silver and arsenic, and everything that's in the earth is in us. We are not separate. The horses know that they are all joined to this giant union, and we're kind of out here walking around on two legs, and we've forgotten a lot of things. And I think it's important. I have a it's really eclectic spiritual belief, but I've looked at a lot of things and I've studied with a lot of people, and I take what resonates with me and then bring that in, and what doesn't, I let go and move on and stuff. But I just think that there's a lot. Life is so interesting here.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. So speaking of then the healing of all of that, I know that you have different kind of packages that you do with people. Like, what are some of the different ways you work with people or the things you offer?
Right. Well, I offer different, we do phone coaching. Phone coaching can be really effective. Working, you and I talked last time about parts of self. So phone coaching is a really easy way to dialogue back and forth. So my premier package, I'll just tell you about that, includes phone coaching and at least one visit here with the horses, coming out and visiting and hands-on with the horses. And then another thing I like to offer is I take my massage table out to the paddock and people lay down and we do energy work, chakra balancing, or Reiki right there with the horses. And the horses are natural at it. And the last time I worked on a client, it was so amazing because I had my one horse who has since passed away, but he was at the foot and Lakota was at the head. They were facing each other. And I just felt like they were running this energy back and forth to each other. I can't see it, but I can feel it. I can feel that energy. Wow. And the client just woke up, got off the table, and just, was just amazed at how she felt. So things are happening, and that's the premier package. But and if people want to call and check in and see if we're a good mesh, I do offer a free 30-minute phone consultation in the beginning too. So
what happens in that call? Like, do you just kind of do some information gathering and hear what they're trying to accomplish or what's been frustrating or where they're like, how does that go?
The thing about Gestalt, Chris, is you can never plan for anything. A person can call you and for 2 days they've been thinking that they're going to work on an issue with their boss and they pick up the phone and we start talking and the next thing they know they're talking about their sister. Wow. So the fun thing is, I can't prepare for it. So but it's more of an information gathering and telling them how the things work and stuff. But people need to be heard. In our society, we're not very good listeners.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So in that 30-minute call, people, if you listening to this are interested in working with Annette, hearing more about what Annette does, you can actually schedule a call with her where you guys will have a 30-minute conversation, just a conversation, right? And because it's Gestalt work, right? We don't know what's going to happen in that call, but listening to this, that you want to be somewhere, you want some result in life, whether it's to be healing something in your life or something you're trying to produce in life. And then you get to let the gift of Gestalt and all that work reveal to you what there really is to do.
Because once again, the Gestalt is based on the premise that only the client knows their own answers.
Yeah, I love that.
I have many ways of listening and talking and ideas about things, but none of it's mine. All of their answers come from within. They already know their answers, but I will help them find that.
I love that. Beautiful. Very beautiful. I love that. Also, I should say, just in wrapping, you also are, we said this before, but Touched by Horse is a series. It's a book. There are three books in the series. You are an author in one of those books, in the third anthology. Yep.
I'm in all three.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
It's a big project for me. This is a passion of my heart, these books.
Yeah. And you guys can get that book on Amazon. Is it also on your site, Annette?
Yeah, I have On the Wings of a Horse is my website and my business name, and you can just contact me and I can make sure you get a book. We'll work with that and make that happen. Yeah. And I also just wanted to tell you, in case you ever come through Denver, I am just 45 minutes north of downtown Denver. I have a little farm that I call Dragonfly Farm, and there's a story behind that. I'm a storyteller. Yeah. And
So just 45 minutes north of Denver?
45 minutes north of downtown Denver.
Got it. Perfect. I even heard, so you even will come to people, like will you come to people?
Yes. I knew I had this vision when I started this program that I would actually be taking this work out and doing it. And that has in fact happened. I traveled to North Carolina a couple years ago and put on a summer camp weekend for type 1 diabetes. Wow. With another woman who graduated from the program. And it was to work with the caregivers to help, to give them a little space. So they had a lot of activities planned for these people at this beautiful place in North Carolina. And so we were there, and every day we worked with the people with the horses, I didn't know, horses I just met. And it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. And it just unfolds. It
Wow.
just unfolds. Trust
So
and
great.
faith and allowing the process. That's the Gestalt process.
Beautiful. So again, if you guys listening to this are in Denver, you can go 45 minutes north of Denver and connect with Annette there. You can also, it sounds like now, invite her to where you are. If you are somewhere not in Denver, and you could invite Annette and her horse there. Either way, it all starts with a conversation. You can go to Annette's website, connect with her there, make sure you schedule a call. One more time, Annette, your website is?
On the Wings of a Horse.
.com, right? .com? Yes, beautiful. Annette, thank you so much. You're a lovely human being. I love your energy and our conversations. Thank you for your time today and your wisdom.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
See you next time.
Thank you.